Thanks for everyone for joining us for the weekly press conference with head coach Lance Taylor. Broncos are coming off a 26-17 loss at Miami. Face Central Michigan at home on Saturday at 4 p.m. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach, and then we'll take questions.
Last week we talked about the keys to victory were the team that showed up and had the best preparation during the week and then showed up for game day with great execution and detail more consistently would win the game. As a team, coaches and players, we didn't do that consistently enough, and specifically in the fourth quarter when we needed it the most. My challenge to our team was how do we improve and grow from this game, and how can we be better as we move forward? We're still in position to accomplish all of our goals, and now the key to doing that is focus on going 1-0 today and every day by showing up with great detail and effort. As we prepared for this week, rivalry game, we must narrow our focus and elevate our preparation. We're excited to play this game at home on a Saturday in front of the best fans in the MAC and a packed Waldo Stadium.
Coach, a lot of new additions to your staff for this season. How have you gone about educating them on the Western Central rivalry?
I think they understand the importance of this game. It means a lot to a lot of people, and the thing that I've really challenged our coaches and players with is we have to focus on what we can control. It's a rivalry game, means a lot. Fans, both fan bases are don't like each other, and those things are exciting, but we can't worry about external factors. We have to focus on doing our job, preparing our team the best, and showing up with great detail on Saturday.
And then a question from Andrew Graham from Mitten Football, who's unfortunately stuck in traffic on 94. What criteria did you have when you set out to hire a defensive coordinator, and how did Chris O'Leary fit that?
Yeah, there were a couple of things that I was looking for. Number one is I wanted a great leader of men, somebody who was energetic, passionate, detailed, and a great communicator that would build relationships.
Coach, they outscored you Miami 17-0 in that fourth quarter. After looking at the film, you had some negative plays on offense, and then they were able to get their passing game going. Was there anything that really stood out to you in terms of just where it went wrong?
Yeah, we watched the film and dissected it really hard. I think the important thing is how do we learn and grow from that, right? Losing and failure always hurts, but learning the lesson and improving is what's important. And, I think as we looked at the film, we didn't play the same way in the fourth quarter or coach the way we had previously in the game. And the whys, we have to find that out. And I think, whether it's worried about the scoreboard or trying to win, I think our focus was elsewhere because things we had done earlier in the game, same call versus the same look, we didn't do in the fourth quarter. And that's what happens when you take your eyes off, your focus off of what's important and your job and doing it with detail. You score 0 points, they score 17, especially against a really good football team.
And then, you've experienced some of the greatest rivalries in college football. And now you've experienced it not only here at Waldo, but you've experienced it at Kelly Shorts. So I just wanted to get a feel for just how you're handling this rivalry going into this week, considering just where you guys are both at in the MAC, in the standings, all of that.
I've been in the Iron Bowl, Alabama versus Auburn, Stanford versus Notre Dame versus USC, Jets versus Patriots. This rivalry is right up there with them in terms of, means a lot to a lot of people. I think our fan base is excited to play, at home on a Saturday. We haven't played Central Michigan in a long time on a Saturday, and especially a home game. So I think our fans and students are really excited about that. It's been action for several years now, and so to get it on a Saturday was awesome. And I think the thing that you do in rivalry games is you can throw all the records out of the window. You can throw predictions and you have to focus on you. And that's what we have to do as a team. Focus on us, not worry about the opponent, but really focus on us. Study our opponent and have a great preparation.
What's different, though, in-state rivalry, this particular rivalry? What stands out?
Well, the players will feel it. They hear about it all week. They hear about it all year. Our coaches hear about it all year. When you talk to our fans, that's what they talk about. And I think that they know the importance of it. You feel it on game day. There's a different energy. There's a different feeling. And so as a coach, you really try to minimize those things by really just focus on what we control. This is another game, and you don't want to get too high emotionally in rivalry games. I think you don't play your best when you're emotional.
And then, obviously, last year, tough loss on the road. Does that add to this game this year, considering where you guys are at? Just that loss last year, how you guys lost in that fashion. Does that add anything to this one?
This is a completely new team, new year, new players, new coaches, so many new people in the building. There are a lot of people who weren't here for that, and so and you try to turn the page. How do we learn and grow from that? Last year is what we've talked about, and we've moved forward from that. Same thing with Miami. Now we've turned the page. We're not looking in the rearview mirror. We're looking ahead on our goals.
And then the last thing is they possess a unique look on offense with two quarterbacks. What kind of threat does that pose to your defense?
They're playing really well. They're well coached. They're disciplined. Coach Trinkle in his first season, gotten a chance to know him. He's done a really nice job there, and it's going to be a great battle. We will have to bring our best, and we will have to play consistently to beat this football team. They do a great job in the run game, play two quarterbacks. They put you in conflict, and they've got really good players.
Coach averaged 200 yards a game, and they've averaged 250 yards a game rushing in conference play. What stands out about their running attack that you need to kind of focus in on?
When you're averaging over 200 yards a game rushing, they're physical. They move the line of scrimmage. They've got great players who run through contact. The first guy never tackles them. They're always moving the pile forward. They're very efficient. They don't get behind the sticks.
And then your running game, how do you assess your running game right now? You've had to kind of rebuild that offensive line on the go here.
Yeah, I think I've talked in previous weeks. I think our offensive line is probably our most improved position. I think they've done a nice job from improving in our run game and improving, in the pass game and protection. I thought Miami's defensive line is one of the best in the conference, and great battle for 4 quarters. We did some things really well, and at times we did some things that we've got to clean up and improve. So I know we'll get those things fixed this week, but I'm excited, to continue to get better and see that group continue to get better, and I think they will only get better as we move forward. I think what you're seeing is Brock brings a different element to our offense, and I think we had 150 yards rushing last week. Have done really well in our MAC games in the last 5 or 6 games, rushing the ball really well.
Your kick return is really, really going pretty well here with Devin back there. Did you make any changes there, or is that just the experience that Devin's had over the course of the season that he's starting to see things a little better back there?
Well, really proud of our kickoff return unit. I think when you have when our returner Devin Miles sets a school record for 218 kick return yards in a game. It takes all 11 to do that. And Coach Sabak, our special teams coordinator, really emphasized last week in the bye week about winning your one-on-ones and being violent when you do that. And I think you saw that unit play fast and physical. We had some great returns. 218 yards. It really, created a spark for us multiple times and gave us great field position. Those things are huge, and we've talked about complementary football in all 3 phases. So it was great to see that unit get going.
Talik Williams finally got in the end zone. That was good to see. What do you think about his play the last few weeks?
Yeah, well, he was a captain for a reason this game. He's a great leader. He's played really well. Hard to believe that was his first touchdown reception. He's made so many big catches for us, even in critical moments this season, but just hadn't gotten the end zone. And so it was great to see him get his first touchdown as a Bronco. He's done an excellent job. He's a leader in that receiver room. He really comes to work every single day. He's got a great attitude. I think he there was a reason that we made him a captain last week, and I think it's because of what he's done and who he is.
And I think it was pretty obvious that Brock can throw the deep ball because he was throwing it all day against Miami. It's really improved, I think.
He is. Brock threw, really well in that game. I think, he ran really well. I mean, he's a playmaker.
How about their other quarterback, Labus? You mentioned Flores as a runner. What do you see in Labus?
Well, I think the thing that we have to do is make sure we understand each strength and weakness, because they are a little bit different, and the offense is a little bit different with both guys. Still the same offense and some of the same plays, but we have to really hone in. And again, really, it's just about doing your job. Each guy on the field. I think that's where we did at times last week, but not consistently enough. And when you play really good competition, that shows up and it hurts you.
You've tried a lot of things on punt return. Last week you turned to your tight end. I think you're the only team in the country with a tight end returning punts. Are you going to keep going that way?
Well, all of the tight ends in the country that we're recruiting, we're going to find different ways to get you the ball. We're going to put our best players on the field, and we've tried different guys. Blake Bosman did an excellent job for us. Really practiced that way all week. He's got exceptional ball skills, and even though he's a tight end, he's done a really nice job in one game and 1 week of doing it. And we've tried some different guys, and I think he did a really nice job for us.
And then finally, trying to sell out Waldo Stadium. What would it mean to you and the team to see a packed house to play your rival on Saturday?
Our players, our coaches, we're all excited to be home playing this game in front of our fans, family and friends. That's exciting. Let's pack Waldo. It's going to be a great atmosphere.
Coach, just this last thing. You got 3 players on this roster that played at Central before. Have you had any conversations with those guys, and just how does that kind of add to the uniqueness of maybe this year?
That's a great question. One, I think you'd have to ask them.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Okay. Thanks, guys.